Woof! Welcome to a Baggy Wall Toy Haul. Well, yeah, I guess that. Yay! Baggy Wall Toy Haul. Baggy Wall Toy Haul. Today we are here live on Two Dogs Digs. Thank you for joining us. We're going to take you through some of the things that we find at our local thrift stores. Both our, well, actually, our Salvation Armies, our Value Villages, and a couple of other thrift stores that we have in the area have baggy areas. So sometimes it's a baggy wall, like you see sort of in the video there. Like that's a whole. Where's my finger? There's that. I can never figure out how to point on this. That's pointing at my head. This. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes they're literally in bins, like they're just dropped into bins. In fact, for us, we actually have done some of the stuff where we have some smaller things, and we actually in our antique booth have our own baggy bins. So we put smaller items that may be $5 or whatever into little baggies themselves, with price tags on those. So we have our own sort of baggy wall or baggy bins at our thrift store or at our antique booth. We actually sell probably $100 a month in those sort of small things. But today we're going to talk about some of the stuff that we found. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat a couple of things. I didn't think about what show we were going to do till yesterday at like 1 o'clock in the morning. But yesterday afternoon, I was ripping open toy baggies. Just a little clueless. So I have a couple of things that are out of the bag that I'm going to show you as well. And hopefully what this will give you is some idea on things that you can look for that you may not have thought about looking at before, to add into your plethora of things to watch when you're looking at not only like thrift stores, but potentially estate sales or going to garage sales or anything along those lines. So, of course, I have my other half here down in the basement.
Yes, with Doug.
Slightly less focused than me. We're still trying to figure out how to do the cameras properly.
Yeah.
He's a little paler than he looks normally.
Pale face, yes, that's me.
Yeah.
I can make myself darker. Watch.
No, don't. It looks really.
Watch. Look at what I can do.
That's a little better.
Look at what I can do.
But you're not as clear as me.
Yeah. There, I'm darker now.
Now, Rick is here to sort of
add color commentary.
Huh?
Color commentary.
Color commentary, and potentially to also these things in the comments that he thinks I should answer or anything like that. He can star those kind of things, so he can put them in there for us as well. But really, baggy walls, generally toy baggy walls aren't his thing. Baggy walls, he doesn't actually mind. He searches through the baggy walls at some of our local thrift stores all the time and does find a few things in there. But generally, toy baggies is more what I end up looking for. So he's going to sort of give the color commentary. So a big hello to everybody who joined us here. Janet, who joined us very early and said, I'm early, but I'm excited. And it's like, no pressure on us. Jennifer here. Let's see who else is here. Joel, Luette. We've got Michael, Carl, Paul, Lisa, Greg, Elisa, Heather, and Bob. Michael, did I say Michael already? Did I say Paul already? I don't know whether I said these names already. I might have said them already, but if I did, say hello to you twice. So today was our Tuesday, so it was the day where we get to go run around. And Tina, hello. Tina, we'll catch up later. Today was our day to go and run around. Neither of us slept really well last night, so we got a little bit of a late start. Plus, we didn't. So it snowed, but I didn't look out the front door, which is really stupid, I know. So we're getting ready to go. I'm sitting in the living room. I'm looking at our backyard, and our backyard has a deck on it, and the deck is covered. But in the past bunch of snows that we've had around here, there's been snow all over our deck.
Yeah, so the wind has picked it up and thrown it onto the deck.
And it's been, Doug loves
it.
He goes out and he licks like it's like his little snow cone happy thing. Like he just walks out, finds a snowbank. But I looked at it and was like, oh, there's no snow. And then Rick is getting ready. He goes, okay, let's go. And I went, okay, or I'm ready to go. And he goes, well, we have to shovel. And I didn't know. We went out front. We had like 2.5 inches of snow. And it was raining. So it became that heavy snow that we can't stand. So it took us an extra half an hour plus to do that. So we got a later start than we normally do. But we did manage to go to 2 stores. And at those 2 stores, sometimes this is just how I feel when I get to some of those stores because it happened to literally be like later in the day. I kind of felt like this was me today. I was the king of what's left.
I saw that mug.
And it actually belonged. There was another mug with it because it was 2 for $5.99. It was the queen of everything and the king of what's left. And yes, I am the queen of everything, but not really when it comes to thrift stores. So I thought I'm the king of what's left. But I did, even with what's left, there's some things that I am allowed. Like we did find some stuff, and actually we're going to do a haul. Our next week, we're going to do what's going to be called our $100 haul. Our $100 haul. So we spent $100 today, and we're going to show you next week what we spent that $100 on to see if you think it was worth it, and we'll show you why we bought the sort of stuff that we did. So next week will be our $100 haul.
I found a lot of what I thought was really good stuff, but I was convinced to put it all back.
Well,
only because
especially
the type of stuff that
especially this.
That picture doesn't do that justice.
Nothing does this justice.
There we go. That is fantastic.
No, it's not. Even at 30% off. No. Yes, 100 with a senior discount. But yeah, no, this was a void. And the thing was, I walked by this on the bottom. It was on the bottom shelf. And on the bottom shelf, I walked by and I looked down and, oh God, he's going to see that. And I said, you ready to go to try and make it go past the shelf? And he literally went, whoop, and look at this. I was like, oh, no. That's, I get a veto. That's my veto of everything that we're going to. That is definitely a veto. So.
That'll be my drag name. A veto. A veto Perone.
Paint it white. No. So, yeah, actually, we do look for those tarot cards as well. So there's some have an amazing ROI.
I only saw one bag of tarot cards behind the desk.
Yeah,
it's priced at like $12.50 or $12.99, and it was one of the Doreen Virtue sets. Yeah. I looked it up, and it sells for $20. So that's not.
Some of the Doreen Virtue sets sell for a lot, and I think in the years that have gone, I don't know about this, Paul. If you find them, I think about 50% of the tarot card things that we find and buy are still sealed. So I think there are people saying, "Here's a lovely gift. Learn the tarot," and the person receiving is going, "Thank you so much. Where is my donate box?" Like.
They're not going to the church and splash me with holy water.
Or they just think that they've all of a sudden become evil. Yeah, it is really kitsch. That is really kitsch.
But it was plastic. You'd think that was plastic. It was plastic.
Of all things, it wasn't brass. Who knew that this was plastic? And those are not diamonds. Just in case you thought they were diamonds. They're not diamonds. This is not a girl's best friend. And it certainly wasn't mine. So that's Greg says his dream is old casino chips. That's a nice find too, if you can find those. Especially because they're still cashable if you actually go there, yeah.
It depends on the.
Is the skeleton behind Rick wearing a muffin or a platypus?
It's wearing a stuffed dog.
It's wearing
a dog puppet.
It's a dog puppet. It's a dog puppet sitting on top of a skeleton.
Yes, that was my homage to when we were watching Game of Thrones.
Oh. Is that what it was?
Yeah, and before that it was Halloween.
So I'm going to start not the Halloween the movie, because that's not like the Michael Myers sort of thing.
No.
I'm going to start with a couple of things that I got in baggies that I opened up yesterday and show you just those, because they were sort of, I got a couple of the bags, and I'm just going to sort of quickly do it. They were like bags that were like this. They were just filled with stuff, like a little price tag on the top, filled with stuff. I'll go into this one later, but just a little bag. And they were filled with little colorful toys, little plastic toys. And so a bunch of them were, I'm just going to get this one out to show you first. These little guys here, there was like, look at these guys. They're so cute. Right? And I'm like, oh, those are cute. What the hell are they? Well, I actually had to do, so when I opened the baggie yesterday, I was like doing the Carl search, or as most people know it, a Google search. And with the Google search, I found these things called Daffy Dogs. Where is it? I'm trying to find the link that I had for it before, and of course I can't find the link to that. Right? It's actually a cereal toy. Let's see if I do it that way. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't have that one prepared. Here we go. I'm just going to move this over here for a second. So this is actually the site that I ended up finding on it, Daffy Dogs, also known as Crazy Canines, were a vintage 1970 cereal toy box premium. And there were 6 different dogs. Now, I actually found a website that showed the 6 dogs, which was really cute. And it's like you can find everything about who they are. So I ended up doing a little search on that. And there were ending up, when I did it, there were actually 5 of these little Daffy Dogs in here. And surprisingly, this is what surprised me, is I'm looking at these. So I put them all together. This is actually going to go on eBay for me. And when I looked them up on eBay, I found Daffy Dogs. Here is a listing to show you that, like, there's 346 listed. Now, they're not all Daffy Dogs like the kind I'm talking about here. There we go. No, sorry, did that wrong again. On the wrong side here. But it was interesting as I went through, because I actually found solds on these, and $8. This little blue guy sold for $29.49 for one. And then this was actually one of the things I found, which I thought was cute. It gave me some more information, which is there are the Daffy Dogs, who they are: guard dog, police dog, shepherd, boxer, racing dog. So there are all these different Daffy Dogs, cereal premiums. And somebody got $33. Like
somebody cut that off the box, the cereal box.
Yeah, and somebody had these, and they sold these for $33 on auction.
Nice.
Which I thought was cool to find something like that. So I actually am building a little listing with these. I've got them in here for pictures for Rick that says Daffy, so he knows what listing they belong to. I'm going to actually be selling those, I think listing those for about $35-40. Carl's comment: cereal toys. Damn, that kid ruining our fun by choking on one. Yeah. That's just it, Donna. It's like which one is rare and in which color. That's one of the things that I was trying to find on here. I did do a highest price list, and again, I only looked quickly on here, and a couple of the blue ones are like, that blue one is $29, and that blue one is $29. And I don't have a blue one in here. I don't know where I put it. I do have a blue guy in here as well. So again, I'm going to see what I can do on it. And then Donna will know about this kind of thing as well, which is I found this other thing in there, which was this guy. I'm going to slide him out because he's getting ready for. And this was in another thing. And this is a little guy. Now, I look at these, and there's a kind of thing, and I actually have some downstairs. Rick, I don't know if you can see it. It's just around the corner. My deniers, the aliens. This is like a rubber kind of thing, so it kind of looks like an eraser. So you can see a good look at it there. Unfortunately, made in China. But this particular one is from a series called Monster in My Pocket. And I'm not, yeah, that's like Don has already put down there. Monster in My Pocket. Carl's going, oh. So I thought this was one of my denier aliens, which can go for okay money. I'm going to switch a spot with Rick. So that's the denier alien. So they're little rubber erasers, and they came out in the 70s.
No, we have a ton of them.
Well, I actually got a store display of those. So I have 100 of those. But this particular one, the interesting thing about it was I went and looked it up and found out this guy, this is through using Google, is known as Squarefoot. And take a look at what Squarefoot lists for. $95. That's in Australia. This particular one right here, that's listed for $95 US. One watched in the last 24 hours. And this is exactly the same guy that I've got.
Now, are there any sales for that that you could find?
Yeah, the solds were 40, 70, 67, 81. So this is kind of when I was talking to you about the last week about the fast nickel or slow dime. For me, since it's got on it that
How do you spell that?
Denier? It's on
the name that you had.
Oh, hold on. You can do it, Rick, not me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The alien that's with you right there. It says it right on it. Do a search.
Huh?
Do a search. This guy is called Monster in My Pocket. The alien you've got, do a Carl search on one of them and it'll get you to the proper spelling.
All right. Take me off screen.
Proper spelling of what that is.
Take me off screen.
So again, with things like that, selling for $67 US, I'm not going to go for the $120 on this because a couple of reasons. One is right now, as I said, there's one for 95, there's one for 54, but that's in the UK and they want $25 shipping. So the challenge is that right now from Canada, we have to deal with the tariffs. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to price this down. Probably, I found that this is from a $3.99 baggie wool bag. So I'm going to price this probably in the neighborhood of $50 to $60 US, $70 Canadian kind of thing. And that way, if somebody has to buy it and they buy it using eBay EIS, the eBay International Shipping from Canada, that will make it close to the price that the other people would be paying just for that item, if you understand sort of how I'm going with that. And yeah, Rick just typed it in there for me to try and copy, but I will show you that. So that's what they are. But I'll tell you, this is what I thought it was. Is it Diener? And I'm going to get images there. These are Diener rubber erasers. These are what they look like. Now, Diener made a lot of things, space erasers. They made all sorts of different things like this. And some of these guys can sell for good money. There's eBay in stock, Diener rubber. It's like $28 for two. So they're like $10 a piece. But yeah, and they made these little cows. They were all little erasers. But what ended up happening, this is the Space Creature set, which is literally the what I have downstairs. We have all of these space creatures in all of these colors, and they're all different space creatures. So there's 8 of them in total. The interesting thing about this is, again, I did a little more research on these when we were looking at selling them. They came out as pencil erasers, and then I believe it was McDonald's. There was a fast food restaurant. I think it was McDonald's. It might have been Burger King that actually brought them out as like little toys. So you got them with your meal back in the 70s. So they're just interesting. So when, again, look for things that, what in this specific case, what I'm saying, this is just a little guy, looks kind of strange, feels kind of rubbery. I mean, they do make them, as Donna said, of harder plastic. These guys are all hard plastic. So look for little characters and things like that that might be just stuck in a bag that you're not going to be able to figure out what they are. For $3.99, it's the kind of thing you might end up doing. Oh, I guess. Sorry, am I boring you, Lisa? Next bag. The other thing that I had, which I also just opened, and I have not even looked these up yet, is this was in a bag that was falling apart, is a big bag of heavy metal
fantasy
figures,
figure.
medieval figures. Again, I'm not even sure what like this is. I don't know if I can do that on the bottom. I can see that. Ral Partha, that's it. Ral Partha is the name. Now, this is a dragon, but what the thing is, the other parts of the dragon are in here, his wings, that will have to at some point go on him, like somebody would have to attach these to him. But this whole baggie was another, this happened to be $3.99 as well, with just a bunch of different kinds of really heavy metal. Yeah. Trying to get this guy out. There's another wing in there. There's another part of a body. So I think there's two bodies in here. They are, the challenge with them, as Carl said, they are all over the place. Yeah, I think they're lead. I just call them metal, but yeah, I think they're lead. In a lot of cases, you can find the dates. These are usually from the 70s. In this case, I don't know if you'll get that in there, but you can see, there we go. Ral Partha, right here, right there, is one of the names. So look up metal miniatures, and you'll see a lot of different things for that. So that's one that has to have research done into it. Hopefully, it's one of those things that'll be able to go, oh, look, I might find another one of these things in there. That dragon may very well be like a $30, $40, $50 dragon. So again, a $3 or $4 bag is really worth buying. Next is something that is a little more on this, I guess it's kind of on the stranger side, which is, well, it's not, I guess it's not really on the stranger side. I literally, I found this one bag, and this one's open as well, but I thought I'd give you this thing because I thought it was I found a really interesting thing about these, which I didn't actually know. So this is a baggie that was $5.99.
I'm going to go let them out.
Again, I opened this yesterday to stuff them all in here to see what they were. And what these are is, most of you can probably guess right off the bat for seeing something like that. These are the Happy Meal toys, the old McDonald's Happy Meals. They're from 1990, Happy Meal Muppet Babies. So I often see these. This actually I have here. I've got some, this is Baby Gonzo. This is Baby Miss Piggy. Now, I know a lot, it's sort of like, yeah, Muppet Babies. Who cares about Muppet Babies? There's another Baby Gonzo. This actually, I didn't realize it when I bought it, was just filled with Baby Gonzo and Baby Miss Piggies. But here's the interesting thing. Oh, Carl, you jumped ahead on me. Carl just jumped ahead on me. There is a Canadian exclusive Muppet Baby, and it is Animal in the red wagon. And these are really amazing because it's something that I didn't know that there's Carl's comment. It's also a Canadian exclusive, yeah. But the Canadian exclusive is, there's Animal. And look at this. There's one in somebody's cart. This is a better shot of Animal. And I know I've had this before. I know I've done this a bunch of times with stuff. Like I've seen that wagon, all those kind of things. But I never realized that that was a Canadian exclusive. And let me just go back here. This is in somebody's cart, and it's $35 US. Here is just so people can see it. There he sold for $11 for just him. There's his cart that just sold for, but this was $35. It sold for $35. He sold for $40. So again, it's sort of like, holy crap, $15. A Muppet Babies Series 2. So take a look and see if you can find those, because it's actually a Canadian exclusive. Now, I don't know whether anybody would actually pick this up even for $11, but it's just interesting that you'll be able to sell that or market it as a Canadian exclusive. You'll be able to say, oh, wow, like this is a Canadian exclusive. You might be able to put it onto eBay or Etsy or something like that. So don't just keep in mind bag ones, obviously brand new, but they might they'll obviously go for more if they're still in the bag. But take a look at them and think, well, what if I found those loose? What if I found that little thing? So just get used to looking for this little guy in a wagon. There we go. Baby animal and the little red wagon. Because I know I've actually seen the red wagon on its own a few times. So just an extra little thought for you guys, especially for you Canadian sellers. There's quite a few of them. I found this other, so now we're going into bags that I haven't opened yet. And I found this bag and I was like, okay, now I know what I'm going to be looking at. Oh, the ice skating was on earlier today. That's the only thing I don't like about the Olympics, Heather, is where they are right now. All the live stuff was happening during the day. It's all repeats now. I hate that. I hate it when it's that, like, you can't watch them live because I've seen everything on all the feeds. Yeah, the Muppet Show just came back on Disney Plus. I don't know if they're going to do new episodes yet, Jennifer. I know that they announced, depending on how good that is, it's actually produced by Seth Rogen and it had Sabrina Carpenter in it. It was very cute. It was on ABC last week. But I went and I found this other bag and I was like, I always love when I can find more than one thing. And then I found these and I was like, why did I buy these? I'm really not sure. So this was a baggie that I found downstairs. So this is a baggie. And you can probably get a quick look at it and see that obviously it's Cars. Now, Disney Cars. Now, the thing about this, I'm going to open this baggie right now, is so this is the Cars there. Now, I could tell that they actually did something. And what they're called, they're called Shake and Go. But what I didn't know, I didn't just buy that baggie. Bought this one. I bought this one. I bought this one.
He was shaking those all over the thrift store.
All at the same thrift store. $3.99 a baggie. And the only way you make them work is you have to turn them upside down to make them work. And I didn't realize
they have a mercury switch.
That was this guy. He does talk too. I heard him talk earlier. So I don't know exactly what I have to do with them. Like how to.
Shake it like a baby.
I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to make them work. I think I must have shook some when I was in the store. I might have to replace some batteries.
There's an on-off switch underneath.
Got that one starting on me now. It's the interesting thing, again, I wasn't too sure, but this is something that, again, when I'm looking these up for today, Elisa's saying, oh, not that kind of shake and go. Oh, he's already found an animal in his wagon in his profit. Yeah, Andrew. Here's the interesting thing about this is I looked up Cars Shake and Go, and there are 652 items listed. Now, this is one of the things that I like to take a look at, obviously. This is actually everything from a drag strip to single cars in there. There's look at that, though. The King Shake and Go. I don't know if I have him or not, but $223. But this is what I wanted to show you again, which was really interesting, is it's 652 live listings right now. In the last 90 days, 400 have sold. That is, there, 395. 400 have sold. That is a huge turnover.
No,
That's
it's
the kind of numbers when you're
55%.
looking. Sorry?
55%.
That's like a huge sell-through kind of rate. Now, it's not truly a sell-through, right? I mean, people talk about it as a sell-through rate, but it's not a true sell-through because you don't know if all of those were listed at the same time. But what I look at with that is if you saw something that has 1,000 listed and 10 sold, then you know that there's a much smaller chance that yours might sell. In this case, I'm looking at something where there's 600 listed and 400 sold in the last 90 days. So let's take a look at what some of them are. And this is what shocked me next, is seeing what some of these things, this is highest price first, $350 for that set. Now, again, Carl, take a look for these when they when you go to your thrift store or your flea market. I don't even know if people know about that. But take a look. This was great. I looked at this. This is $199 US for these loose ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 loose ones. And I know I had that guy, and I know I got that guy, and I think I got that guy, and I don't know if I have that. But again, $190. That's like ridiculous. We go back here. There's track that goes for good money. There's 114 for that lot. One's on the card, though. I mean, look at this. $99 for those on the card. This is so surprising to me. And again, you can hopefully, when you're in if you have a chance and you see something like that, don't pay attention if it doesn't run completely. Again, so they look like regular cars things, right? So you see the big eye, they're big. You see the eyes. What you look for is this. That's the speaker. And the way that they work.
Is that one turned on?
Yeah, it did. But so at least I hear it. Now, there is a way to get it completely working so that I don't know. I just don't know how to do it right now. I've never played with these before. So, because this guy, I actually got the one guy talking at one point, and I don't know if I'm going to do it now. But let's try him. This is the army guy. I think I actually had him talking too. So you can hear it's going a lot longer. Switches in the bottom there. So I know he doesn't need a new battery, but this would be great again to put these on, be able to do this and then do that with a video for them. And $3.99, and I bought what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's call it $20. $20 investment. Hopefully, going to make $100 or more from that. And I can't really say I bought these. I can swear to you, I bought these like a year ago, and they were in the bottom of a box that was set aside for Baggie walls. Yeah, we will replace all the batteries for them and then send them without batteries because that would make them heavier if every one of them had batteries in it. I think next one I'm going to do is another toy. Well, actually, no, I got. Let's go to this. I found these a little while ago, and it's people know about Polly Pockets. We've talked about Polly Pockets before, but there's 3 kinds of sort of different Polly Pockets that I want you to think about. One is the Polly Pockets that are little teeny tiny ones. But the second one was in 2001, I think, because the original Polly Pockets were in the 80s. They released a second series, and the second series was all these tall ones. They're all like 3 inches tall. Now, they're not anywhere near as popular, but they came with rubber clothing. So all the stuff you see down here is rubber clothing. And I've actually found these quite a lot. This one actually I just found recently. And so I'll show you what the meaning with this is an entire baggie filled with the rubber Polly Pockets. So shoes, dresses, everything like that. You can tell it really easy because literally it's rubber. It feels like rubber. And these were things at top that you slipped onto these dolls. There's no doll in this entire thing. But I actually have some downstairs. Now, the interesting thing about this is Disney came out with a set of these as well. But just to give you an idea, see if I got, so Disney came out with a set of these that is Disney princesses with princess things. And you can find those too. This particular thing was $4.99 for this whole baggie, which I think I paid $4 for at the end of the day. And let's see if I can find that, if I can. Let me just Disney Polly Pocket Cinderella. I'll do that one. No, that won't work. Disney Polly Princesses. Trying to get to the specific thing. There we go. Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. This kind of thing. So this is literally the same sort of thing. You can see this perfectly princess. And it is still considered a Polly Pocket. Right? And this was the doll. And you could put all the, and again, all these things are rubber. Now, I've actually found these cases. And I actually have one downstairs that I didn't bring up. That's literally this pink case, little pink heart, that is filled with dolls and stuff like that. I find those kind of things all the time when I'm looking at the thrift. I find these Polly Pockets. And again, these don't go for nearly as much as the regular little original Polly Pockets that I showed you in that picture here. These little Pollys. Those little Pollys can pull in big money. So much, just to give you an idea, that last week there was a local Mac sold. And in the local Mac sold, they had this baggie set of Polly Pockets. You can see it right here. This set of baggies, it was filled with a bunch of Polly Pockets. This also had a little mat with it and a couple little cars, which are very common. This set, which is basically this baggie, sold for $370. $370.
Yep.
And that wasn't the only Polly Pocket that they had. This particular auction had a bunch of Polly Pockets in it. Keyword, let me just search there. And I can show, I can show you that if I can get it to search properly, 9 of them. Bluebird ones sold for $90. These regular ones sold for $43. This sold for $50. This one sold for $60. This one sold for $21. And it's in some of the cases where they had them, they didn't even have any. This one had no figures with it. This was literally $21 for just this. And so this is what I'm always looking out for in the thrift stores as well. Just these little closed Polly Pockets, or these ones that look like this, the Disney ones. And these are really cute. The Disney ones actually had all the figures inside them. So there it is. There's the Beast, and there's Belle. And then there's their boy Bluebird. There's Aladdin and Jasmine. And there's their little like I've actually sold the little magic carpet before for $20 just because somebody lost it.
Yeah, when we were doing Whatnot, we had a few Polly Pocket shows. And
Polly Pocket was one of our biggest shows. We put like a box load of those things out there and showed them pick a Polly, and it was $10 a piece. And we so I debated about bidding on that auction, but I didn't because it went too high. But I tell you what I'm doing. I have a baggie lot of Polly Pockets, and I don't want to go through all the details of figuring out what goes for what now. So I'm actually going to be putting some Polly Pockets in one of my upcoming Max Sold, since I know that they can garner huge money. That's one of the reasons I always do stuff on Max Sold, where I watch other things that I might be able to sell. So, but keep your eyes open again for the rubber Polly Pockets. This is still something that can go for an okay price. And again, especially if you can buy them for $3 or $4 sort of thing. In the same sort of world, I'm going to stick with dolls for a minute. I just want to show you that you can still to this day find some interesting things. Again, I'm a Barbie guy, so I do like to look at stuff. And every once in a while, you can get lucky and find things like this. I found these at, I think they were at the same day. No, different days, because they're different prices and different colors. So this is a baggie filled with doll clothes, and $3.99. Now, most people, I'm not saying this is something for everybody to buy, but what I do when I look at this is I take a quick look at it and I see if I see anything in it that looks to me the potential of it being a vintage piece. And by vintage, I'm looking for patterns. I'm looking for frills. Like in this case, the frill that's on the bottom of this leg, it looks like it might be from a skipper outfit. So I look at that sort of stuff. And I don't know, I have not opened this, but I will risk that. I'm going to risk it right now for $3 just to see what it is that I could get in there. Now, I usually can sell these without a problem elsewhere. So this, unfortunately, that's what I was looking for. That's not a skipper bag. So, but it's less than a latte. So, but you know what? I just said skipper. Look what I found.
A bathing suit.
In there's an original skipper bathing suit.
It looks like it's in pretty good condition, too.
So there we go. There's my $5 or more right there. And again, I haven't looked at the rest of the stuff in here, but there's other things in here that make me think, okay, there might be a little bit more money in there.
Some of the floral things look like they might be pack items.
Yeah, or Tammy. They could be Tammy or other dolls as well. But something else that I like, besides when I see a baggie that's filled with clothes, is bags like this. This is a bag that is just filled with doll, what they would probably, they're probably considering doll crap. So when I looked at this, the first thing I saw was a couple of things. One, I saw this green hat, which I think is soft rubber. That made me go, could be Johnny West. I saw, what else did I see on there?
Little gold purse.
Little purse. Then I turned it around, and as I turned it around, I saw that's a Dawn hanger. And I know this because, but not only that, look at that. There, from the Busy Barbie set.
A tennis racket.
There's the television set. Right there. There's the record player. Right there. And not only that, but as I look inside it, I can also see that there are Barbie hard buckle shoes. This blue hard buckle shoe. And again, as you start doing more and more, Donna's saying the purse caught her attention, the little purse. So this, again, alone, $4.99. But what I could see in it was the Busy Barbie stuff alone. And I know that that's worth my while just to pick up for that. Because that's going to make me my $5 back. And everything else in here, who knows? Found another one another time. Well, same thing. I was like, oh, what's this? What's this? And as I looked through that, I was like, different place. There's something that I see in it. It's the turkey. No, it's not the turkey, but I do recognize the turkey.
You're too close.
This is really strange. But again, for me, that's the reason I bought it. One soft rubber Francie buckle shoe. That's enough. That's a $4 shoe. I didn't look at the rest of the stuff in there. And again, I have to look deeper into there to see what's in there. But I was like, that for me was like, okay, found a $4 shoe. I actually found a thing in here, which is in one of these baggies, which is a closed-toed spike, pair of white closed-toed spikes that sell for $100. So it's like, again, look for bags like this. Take a risk. And again, if you start carling them or start Google imaging them, you may actually find some of these that have something better to even think than a Barbie stuff. Some of these clone items can actually go for big money. So there's a clone Facebook group that you can search in, and you'll be able to see. And then if you look at just clone stuff on eBay itself, it's huge. in the same world as that, I end up finding this. Same thing in the doll world. Still can find to this day, but you got to look a little harder. Some original Monster High dolls. Again, the original Monster High dolls have bending knees, bending arms, bending elbows. So these are older ones. The newer ones have thicker legs. Their arms maybe are solid. So I looked at that and I went $4.99 for the two of them. They're both Draculaura. So I can carl these very easily and figure out what the dolls are themselves. They're missing their shoes, but I have a ton of Monster High shoes downstairs. Then a while ago, not that long ago, there's always those things that like pop up as all of a sudden they're the hottest thing. I mean, Squishmallows was a couple of years ago. Rick and I went into a thrift store. What was it, Rick? It was December or November because we didn't go in January. We were in one thrift store that I think we probably saw
300. Oh no, there were like 300 of them.
Brand spanking new hang tags, everything.
2 complete end-aisle displays.
Multiple end-aisle displays. I started looking through them and gave up. But if you do decide to look at them, like again, that was something that was big a while ago. So we just do a thing in here for people. It still may have something, but I just don't think it's got the same oomph that it had before. So if you go,
no, the cranes are bounced.
There's only 320,000 of them listed, and that's not sold. And if we go to solds, this is where 36,000. So that's what we're talking about. This is like a 10% sell-through rate. Now,
yeah,
again,
that could mean that they're long tail or
and there are some. Don't know why. There's still people buying this Jack the Cat for $1,500. But there's a lot more of there's Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger for $500. So you may find them, but again, you'll probably find a lot more of them that are just like $80 for $320. When you think $80 for $320, those did not cost $320 for 80 of those things. Somebody's grandma spent a hell of a lot of money on those. So that's like a more recent one, but one that has also been out a lot. And it actually only started, strange enough, I think it was 2016 when it started. So less than 10 years, just 10 years ago, there was a thing called LOL dolls. And LOL dolls were basically a ball or a tube that had something inside it. So you never knew what you were going to get. Blind box until you actually got it. So this is LOL Surprise Pets as an example. So they started in 2016. There's all sorts of different series that you can get of them. And what I happened to find, here's right now, there's 61,000 listings of them in here. All sorts of, you can still find people selling sealed ones. And again, they're not necessarily great value on them, on all of them. But again, you want to take a look. But on a baggy wall thing, if I take a look here and let's just go and say highest first. There, you may be able to find a couple of them that sell on their own for really good money. There's 320, 50, 500 of them. But I just couldn't pass this up. When I was going around, I saw this baggie. So I actually got downstairs. I got I must have bought 10 bags for $2.99 that are still in the little balls. So they have their ball, and they have a little toy with them. So all of those are downstairs. But I also found these, which is this entire baggie for $3.99 and another baggie for $3.99. And when I did 2 quick lookups, this one here on the end, which I did carled on, is LOL. I can't even remember. One of the LOL Surprise Party Spies or something like that. And she's selling for $10 to $15 on its own. So again, I bought these more so to flip in our antique booth. or in Max Sold. Not necessarily something to sell on eBay because they're all made in China. So yeah, I'm not going to be too concerned with where we sell them as being recalled or not, because I don't think anybody's going to go through all of that. But yes, you do have to always know about that. It would take them so long. That's true. So that's just it. It would take too long to look these up in the store. So I just looked at them and went, they look like they're in good condition. Time for me to pick up something, spend $8, hopefully make my $8 back. So that's the whole idea when you're looking at these kind of things, is try something and then see if it was worth your while to actually pick it up. I'm trying to figure out why I even bought this baggie. I saw this. Yeah, $2.99. Okay, so there is a pony in it. That must be the reason I bought it, was the pony. Maybe the 2 ponies in it?
Or maybe you just were feeling FOMO.
Or the Squishmallow, or I really like the pirate. I don't even, there's a surfboard in here too. I don't know why I bought this one. Like, why did I buy this for?
Because you wanted to.
I know, but
you hadn't bought anything.
I don't know who that is. He's cute. Oh. It's a little troll on a surfboard with his pants falling down. Little Russ troll. So actually it is Russ too. It is the proper surfboard for him.
Isn't it a sailboard?
Sailboard. So yeah, it's missing a paper sail, I guess, from the side. But that's probably why I bought it, because I didn't buy it for the Squishmallow, that's for sure. I might have bought it for this horse as well, because this is an older My Little Pony. You tell the age of the ponies by looking at their feet. You can see, I don't know if you can see there, but the dates are on their feet. I'm at the point now where I can look at it and go, newer pony, older pony. So that's why I bought that. That's the same reason that I ended up picking up this baggie lot for $4.99, because I looked at it and I went, old pony, old pony, old pony. I said, okay, don't need to think anymore. I got 3 old ponies in there, and then one I don't recognize, which is really interesting. I like this because it looks like it's got a My Little Pony hip on it, but it's not a series I recognize. So when you get used to doing this for a while, or like me, or you just want to take a couple of chances, think about toy baggies as one place to maybe start. You may end up with an entire bag like this that nothing ends up coming out of that you want, but you only spent $4 on it. You may end up with something like this that you can actually take a couple of these things and sell them to make your money easily back. You may end up with something like this that you can break apart and make $100 on. I mean, my goodness, that one $3.99 bag here is going to be over $100 on these 2 guys alone for $3.99. This, who knows, once I look up what these metal guys are. So take a risk every once in a while on what you're looking at. It's worth it in many cases, as you just never know what you're going to find when you do that Baggie Wall toy haul. So thanks so much for joining us here. I went a little long again, but I'm trying to keep it a little under 45 minutes or so, but I don't want to go over this. Next week, we're going to be back with our $100 thrift haul, which is a combination of stuff bought between me and him. And no, it is not going to be this.
No, we didn't buy that.
No,
that was expensive. That was like
not part of the haul at all. So
I was shocked at the price on that.
Hopefully you'll have a great week with your searches or your listings or any of those sort of things. And keep us in mind when you're out there thinking, oh, I'm going to take a look at this. I'm going to take a look at that. Spend 15 minutes at your local thrift store if they've got baggies and take a look at them and go, you know what? I'm going to take a risk at this. I wonder how many of you guys in here actually went and did your 5 revised things that we asked for last week. Probably nobody. I just post that in the craft group. But we will see you again next week with our $100 thrift haul. Thanks again. Happy Tuesday. Go Canada, go in the Olympics. Go Canada.